to you. In order to do that, you need to perfect the art of asking questions and listening to people, and asking not just any questions, but questions that really tell you about what a person's drivers, unique motivators are, and what a person's concerns are in the situation that you share.
Wow. So, the first one, could you take some notes?
Oh, I no, the first no.
Okay, the second
The
one?
second, I heard about unique and different.
Of course, unique and different. And the third one?
The third one is from through uh, uh, from the words look like from through the air. I don't
Yeah.
know. Air. Hmm,
Through the eyes of another person. So it
through
means you
the
can,
air.
yeah, you see the same as the other person sees the word. So through
Mm.
the eyes. Let me write here.
I I'm not. I heard that, but I'm not sure the meaning.
Yeah, of course you were not, because of this you didn't write, of course. So through the eyes. And number 4,
Oh, through the
yeah,
eyes.
through the eyes, of course.
I heard that
Yeah, but you're not sure.
air.
You heard, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the last one, in order to do
Uh,
that, you need to be very good at asking question and
listening people.
listening to people, of course. The first one, so let me play it again. Let's listen. If you couldn't, I will help you, or I can give you the answer and then you can check. I
Yeah.
think it's better to do it yourself and then, so let me play it again.
Yeah.
Unit 9. Managing People. Recording 9.1.
What do managers need in order to be good managers of people?
They need to understand that there are things that motivate everyone, and these are some very familiar common themes, like people care about their families, everybody wants to make a difference, everybody needs to be respected. But then the more difficult thing is to understand how everybody is unique and different to the way you as a manager are. And the secret here, therefore, is to try to know what the world looks like from through the eyes of another person, of each other person who reports to you. In order to do that, you need to perfect the art of asking questions and listening to people, and asking not just any questions, but questions that really tell you about what a person's drivers, unique motivators are, and what a person's concerns are in the situation that you share.
Mm.
Wow. So the first one, which
Motivate people.
motivate everyone, of course, which motivate everyone, such as families. Okay, very good. And now let's listen to the second part of the interview and decide which statement best summarizes Nagel's view of the changes in the way people behave at work. So,
Recording 9.2.
What changes have you noticed recently in the way people behave at work?
I think everything is moving much faster. We used to be going at 50 kilometers an hour, and now we're going at 150 kilometers an hour. Um, People are trying to do more and more in less and less time. And the most important thing is to stand back and take a strategic view, as from a helicopter, you might say, to see where what you're doing fits into a bigger picture, and to make time to reflect. We don't reflect enough. It's one of the things that gets driven out, gets destroyed by the amount of time pressure that we're under. So standing back is what I would recommend people to do.
Well, which one? 1, 2, 3, or 4? So which one is the best summarizes Nigel's view of the changes in the way people behave at work?
I think the third.
The third one, of course, people live very fast, but should not forget to take time to stand back and reflect. That's great. And yeah, I think you've become very good at listening. Great.
Yeah.
Listen to the third part, of course, that's great. So listen to the third part of the interview, decide whether these statements are true or false. So let me play the next one.
Recording 9.3.
Managing international teams can present particular problems. How can managers prepare themselves for this?
The hardest thing, of course, is to figure out what you take for granted that other people don't take for granted. And it's because we take it for granted that we don't even think about it, the assumptions that we make. You step into another culture and you need to realize that you might understand what you don't take for granted anymore, but do you understand how much other people are taking for granted in the new culture? Otherwise, these cultural differences, although they're very important, to some extent are superficial. The real differences are still the important differences between people. You go and work in another culture, just because people look the same through your eyes, doesn't mean to say they are the same. They're unique and different individuals, and you really need to remember that.
Well, oh, sorry. Okay, so going, number 1.
Four.
So you think false. Okay, so, okay. Cultural differences are entirely superficial. Okay, and you think false, and I can say you're right. And the second one?
Four.
Okay, false. Individual differences between people are more important than cultural differences. I think no, but I think it should be true because it seems logical, Of course, I'm not talking about the listening, but it seems logical, but I think this one should be true. And number 3.
Four.
False, of course, you're right. And the last one, you have to remember that people are unique and different individuals.
True.
True. Just about the second one. Okay, just listen to check the second one, but I think it's one that's true.
Recording 9.3.
Managing international teams can present particular problems. How can managers prepare themselves for this?
The hardest thing, of course, is to figure out what you take for granted that other people don't take for granted. And it's because we take it for granted that we don't even think about it, the assumptions that we make. You step into another culture and you need to realize that you might understand what you don't take for granted anymore, but do you understand how much other people are taking for granted in the new culture? Otherwise, these cultural differences, although they're very important, to some extent are superficial. The real differences are still the important differences between people. You go and work in another culture, and just because people look the same through your eyes, doesn't mean to say they are the same. They're unique and different individuals, and you really need to remember that.
So I think, so what do you think now? Right? True? Individual differences between people are more important than cultural differences. So you need to, look through the people's eye. And this one, entirely superficial. So let's talk about the meaning of this word. I think the only word that you can get at a bit of, difficult is this one. I think when something is, I don't know, not noticeable, maybe. So it's superficial, okay? So it means it's not really important, okay? When it's not really important, you don't need to pay maybe lots of attention to it, careful attention, so it's superficial. So of course, cultural differences are entirely, I don't know, careless maybe. They're not really important to actually take our attention, get our attention. Okay, well, let me ask you, what would you find difficult if you had to go and work in a very different culture from your own? Okay, what's really difficult?
Mm, to me, uh, I have ability to how to say. I adapt ability is really good. So
Yeah.
if I had to go and work in a very different culture,
Yeah.
maybe first things is I'm not confident about something I can't do. I I can't do like very different. It means maybe boss boss or I don't know, very different.
Yeah. To me, it's food. Not culture.
Ah,
Cuisine, of course, is really important. You need to try something new. That's too hard.
machine. I think for me is new software, new machine, new technology.
Of course.
Because I really good to at work with the people, but
Yeah.
with technology, with
Yeah, of
software,
course.
new software, and new because I'm low tech.
Yeah,
So
you're not. Yeah, of course. Maybe something that make you, I don't know, a bit nervous about walking in different culture with different culture is to
yeah,
have maybe some, I don't know, technology that you didn't used to use. So now you actually need to. So of course, maybe
yeah,
it makes you a bit confused. So
yeah.
you find it more difficult. Of course, but actually, my point, the purpose of having this question is to talk about a structure that is really good structured, and we call it second conditional because you need to use it. Second conditional is a very good, very, very useful structure that you need to use when you talk about something imaginary or hypothetical. So when something is hypothetical or imaginary, you need to use second conditional. It means something that is not real. If you had to go, you didn't go, and you didn't work with actually people from different cultures, so it's not something real. So we consider it as something imaginary. Okay, so we're going to talk about this situation, this condition. So we're going to use second conditional. We have two parts. The first part, or first clause, that is if clause. And the second part, or second clause, that is would close. Really important. So if should be followed by past simple. If you had, if you could, if you played, if you ate. And the second one, would plus base form or bear or base form, infinitive without to, would go, would eat, would say. Okay, just in writing, we put comma, we separate, we divide them into two parts using comma. If I would, okay? But in writing, especially, I'm talking about specifically about writing. So if you change the position of the, so you replace them, you don't need to put comma. So would you go out if it wasn't rainy? So you don't need to use comma here, but if it wasn't rainy, would you go out? So this is another form. For example, if I had a chance to live in, for example, another country, I would choose, or I would leave, for example, Canada. Okay.
Canada.
Or
Yeah.
I would leave in Canada. So it's your choice. I would choose Canada, I would leave. So this is the structure that you need to follow. Now, you want to make sentences. That's really easy. So if you had a chance, we normally make changes on the second part, would part, not the first one. If you had a chance to leave another country, for example, what country or which country would you choose?
Would you choose?
Yeah, would you choose? Okay, what country, which country, okay, would you choose? Or if I had a chance to live, for example, in another country, I wouldn't, you want to make negative, I wouldn't live in Canada, for example. So I wouldn't. So you want to make negative. So you say would not, wouldn't. Okay. Well, so this is second conditional, the structure that you need to know. Now, I'm going to ask you another question, and I want you to use the structure to make a response. What advice would you give to foreign manager who's going to manage staff in your country? So. If you, let me change it. If I could, for example, give an advice to, for example, a foreigner, a foreign manager, I would,
if I could give advice to a foreign manager, right?
Yeah, of course.
I would advise them to learn Vietnamese.
Oh, of course. Of course, that's really, yeah, good point. Yeah, of course. Yeah. And just this?
I would advise them try to learn about Vietnamese culture.
Of course. Of course, that's really important.
I would advise them to explore Vietnam country, my country.
Oh, of course. So everything related to Vietnam, of course. Yes, of course. So let me ask another question. If you had a chance to actually maybe change your career and start a new business that is, very different from your previous one,
Yeah.
what would it be? So what would you choose? Very different from
If I had a chance to change my career, I would choose to become a farmer.
Oh, very different, of course.
Yeah, very different.
So you
Just
would choose being a farmer, yeah, to become or being a farmer. That's great. Land farm, great.
yeah.
That's a good choice. Of course, that's really good. Well, so would I, if I had a chance, of course. Well, okay. Let's keep going. Do you have any questions related to this structure or no?
Mm, yeah.
Is it clear?
Yes. I mean, after would and could,
Yeah.
you have.
Yeah.
I would. I would.
Yeah.
After would is a verb, right?
Verb, of course, base form of a verb. So
Verb.
it means base form.
Base
Bare
form.
means base form, without to, without ing, without ed, nothing. Base form of verb. Yeah, this is ber. Okay, ber means base form of verb. That is not to, not ed, not ing, nothing. Just go, see
Yeah.
it. Okay?
Yeah.
Well, just this. And just this.
That's it. Okay.
Okay, good. Well, and now we have some words that we need to learn the meaning of. Verb and preposition combination are often useful for describing skills and personal qualities. Match the verbs with the preposition and phrases. Okay, a good manager should respond to employees' concern promptly. Okay, so what do you think? Should respond? Yeah, of course. Yeah. And it's not about definition, so we need to match with prepositions. Okay. Listen. Listen to what?
Listen to listen to own suggestion from staff.
Of course. Listen to. So actually, the purpose of having this task is to get to know some prepositions. So we're going to learn some preposition. Respond to, listen to. Deal.
Deal with problem quickly.
Of course. It's a good collocation. We deal with problems. So deal with problems quickly. And number 4, believe.
Believe in their employees' abilities.
Of course. And the next one.
Delegate in regular training course for employees.
I think, which one you said? I think to delegate. Do you have any idea about the meaning of delegate?
Delegate.
Yep. Delegate means to give a particular job or duty or responsibility to someone else so that they do it for you. For example, I have an assistant and I give a particular job to do so that I don't need to do it and someone else do it to me. And we have this word to a deputy as often as possible. And the meaning of deputy is something like another person, of course, okay, someone who is maybe below, in below actually another person in rank. I'm manager and I have someone else below than me, of course, in rank. So this is deputy.
Yeah. Okay.
So this one. And so delegate to a deputy as often as possible and communicate.
Communicate with colleagues.
Of course.
Clearly.
Of course. And invest.
Invest in regular training.
Very good.
Costs for employee.
Of course, yes. Of course, yes. But they don't. Well, and of course, they're really important. So which one is more important, you think?
Three most.
Yeah.
Yeah. First is believe in their employee ability.
Of course.
Communicate with colleagues clearly.
Yeah.
And deal with problem quickly.
Of course. And now let's talk about some verbs that actually can followed by different prepositions. Okay. So for example, the first one that is report on and report to. Okay. So when we report on, of course, we tell people about it. We report on something. It means we tell people. When we report to, do you know? It's easy.
Yeah, to a person and on a thing.
Of course,
right?
Very good. So someone. Okay, and now we apologize for.
Apologize for the things.
Okay.
Something.
Let me say something. We apologize for something or for someone, so we can use both. But we apologize
to someone.
Of course, to someone. Okay. We talk to
someone.
And we talk about
something.
Yeah, of course. And we have talk on here, no, but we have talk on something, for example. Yeah. And it means talk about it. We agree with
someone.
Of course, and agree on
something.
We argue about
something.
And argue with
someone.
Okay, so we need to pay careful attention to these prepositions.
Yeah.
Because most of actually candidates and students make mistakes while using prepositions. Grammar is easy, but using because we have different prepositions and all the time, especially about at, on, most of the time they make some mistakes. We don't know how to use them. Is it at, it is on, and sometimes we think that it's really ridiculous, because when we say it's really easy, but when the other people wants to learn, it's really complicated to say, okay, they don't understand what's, for example, when we say at the beach or on the beach, okay, what's the difference? But we use both of them, both are correct. But when we say at the beach is different from on the beach, so it's something.
Yeah, on the beach.
Yeah.
At the beach.
Yeah. Okay, now let's complete these sentences with suitable preposition from exercise C. So I agreed with her that we need to change our marketing strategy. Number 2.
I talked to my boss.
Okay, of course. But for talk, you can say talk to or talk with. Both are correct. Talk to my boss. Very good. We argued.
We argue about.
Yeah, of course. About. And.
He apologize for apologize to
his temper. Apologize for. You know, because and let me say something.
his
If
temper.
you use to, there is a point. When you have preposition to, you don't use ing form of verb. So to losing, no, for losing. So he apologized for losing his temper. If you say to lose his temper, of course, we have some 3 words phrasal verb like look forward to. Look forward to. After look forward to, we have ing form. It's okay, but it's something different. Different grammar and different things. But normally, I say that after preposition to, we use actually base form, not ing. We talked.
We talk about our financial.
Yeah, of course, we talked about our financial problems. And 6.
The finance director argued with.
Yeah, of course, argued with, of course. And 7. I apologize.
Apologize to Paula.
Of course. And number 8.
Can we agree on the date?
Of course, on the date of our next meeting. That's great. Very good. Okay, and now we're going to talk again. Okay, let's talk about your culture. How usual is it to see young people in management positions? What do people generally think of them? Is it normal? So, for example, managers or young people, or no? Specifically something for actually elderly, old people. So, is it normal?
You mean
because in some cultures, people think that if someone is, for example, young adult, he or she is less experienced. So maybe it's better to have another person for this position, especially as a manager. So what do you think? Do you have the same thing as your culture? The same, maybe it can be considered as tradition, something traditional. So do you have this or no?
Yeah, we have. Because my company has a long story. Since we build and develop. So we have many people, many old people.
Yeah.
I mean, they have more than 30. They have more than 30 years work for the company. So, I mean, they like the father or uncle, and I mean because they very old person with
Yeah, and there is no retirement.
yeah, of course, they retire when they have uh, enough time. I mean, because they start work to for company when they graduated. It means they 22, and
Yeah,
after and now we for men 62 is the age of retire
retirement.
for retirement.
62. Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
Retirement
so it
62.
means
Yeah,
40, maybe 40 years work for
yeah,
company.
of course.
So yeah, they have a group, quite a big group.
Yeah, of course.
With,
It's something like, as I realize, it's something like a family, actually, I don't know, family job or I don't know, something like this, for example, from grandfather to father, father to son, something like this.
mm,
And well, yeah, of course. Yeah. Of course, we have the same age of retirement. We have the same age of retirement because in my country, of course, after 63, I think. Yeah,
yeah.
but I think we need more young people to do something. So you said because of the history behind actually your company, your corporation, how actually it was founded and how it was developed, so actually some people who were really effective, this actually maybe path, so they have a really important role in the company. So of course they are maybe the head leaders, and after that of course you have maybe younger people in lower positions. Yeah,
Yeah,
got it. Okay, very
yeah.
good. And tell me, let's talk about maybe the most important challenge do
Mm,
young managers face? Of course,
yeah.
comparing to all the ones. So what do you think? Maybe the most important one.
The most important thing, I think because they are young and they has high position, and at first maybe they don't have enough time to show to express themselves um, in front of people, or maybe because they are young, so they very active person, dynamic, active, creative, and they just think about the goal, the responsibility, and they don't focus much about the personality. I mean the people skill. They
Yeah,
they often focus on how to do work well, how to make. I mean, like they focus more about the job,
yeah, of
not
course.
focus more about the person.
Yeah, of
But
course.
the older people,
Yeah,
they have experience and they lead the people to do the job they want.
yeah,
So
of
it's
course.
different, yeah,
Of
between the
course.
young and the old
Maybe they
manager.
can't make balance. Youngers can make
Yeah,
balance between emotions and maybe actually their responsibilities. So they focus on something and they can't see the other aspects,
yeah,
people, individuals, their emotions. But older actually people can make balance due to experience, high experience, so they know how to maybe treat people, how to behave, and how to manage everything, control everything. And at first, they know how to control the emotion, so
Yeah.
of course. Well, and the last question, this is the last question. What may be the advantages of being a relatively young manager? So what is?
Advantages.
Yeah.
Relatively is mean have relationship, right?
Yes, of course.
um mm, I'm not sure about the meaning.
Yeah. About the meaning of this, so let me say, actually, we are talking about let me ask you another question. So,
Yeah.
the young manager, being a young manager, you're going to talk about it.
Yeah, I just try to know about relatively.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just think it mean relatively is the they have a relationship with someone important, but it
Yeah,
now.
you think, yeah, no, you can talk about, yeah.
So it's just about advantages of young manager. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they like I told you before, they often they have creative thinking, they have dynamic reaction, they really fast, very fast
Yeah.
reaction,
Of
yeah, and
course.
they open-minded,
Yeah.
they and they work hard. I mean, try, and they
Yeah.
never give up. I
Of
think so.
course. Of course. So you think they're also, of course, they're able to maybe inspire others to high levels of effort, and
Yeah.
of course production to, and even maybe greater degree than their,
Yeah.
yeah, experience, yeah, counterparts. I do agree with you, definitely. Yes, you're right. Okay, let's skip this topic for the next
Yeah.
session, and thank
Yeah.
you. And again, I'm sorry for actually.
Oh, yeah, it's okay.
Of course.
Yeah, because
uh,
a long time now.
of course, I did
Yeah.
read the actually the text and say, okay, what happened? So, because I thought you gonna be absent today, and then
Yeah.
no, present. Okay,
Yeah.
my dear, it was really a good time with you again, and thank you so much.
Yeah.
And
Thank you.
have a great night, and see you next session.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
See you.
See you.
Goodbye. Have a good
Bye.
day. Bye bye.
Bye.